changing the way you think. The reason why that's so hard is because that's literally trying to change your identity. Once you've been something for so long and you think a certain way for so long, to break that pattern is very hard, especially when you're going through mental health crisis. So to be able to change your mindset is nothing less than spectacular. It takes a lot of work, and one of my strengths have always been listening. I'm always good at listening. I can listen to anybody in the room. I'd rather listen than talk because that's just how I am. I was always listening and observing and paying attention to the world around me, and it's helped. I've learned a lot, but when I take that into consideration, when it was time to switch up my mental health, you know, I didn't want to talk about nothing. I didn't want to talk to a counselor. I thought it was a joke, just another way they can bill and get money. In my head at the time, what some quack shrink gonna tell me, he hasn't walked a day in my shoes. He doesn't know what I've seen. I always just believed they were telling me whatever the textbook told them in school. And I didn't want to hear it, and I definitely didn't want to waste my time on it or any money. And I didn't believe that it was part of change. It was going to help my mental health. I really didn't. I figured it would just aggravate me because it was another thing on the to-do list, you know. Um, because when you're trying to change all these patterns and years of a certain way of living and bad behavior, there's a lot of work that goes into that. So it's not just the mental health part; it's who you surround yourself with and the activities you do. How do you stay busy? What's your goals? In my opinion, being goal oriented and looking towards the future, key part of things. But doing all that keeps you very busy. So you add the mental stuff and more counseling on top of it. I wasn't on board. I wasn't a fan. Anyway, as life does and the universe progressed, um, I'm thankful because now I'm a part of my son's life, and this is my first real Father's Day to where I can say that I've stepped in and I've been a father, and that's to be honest is humbling. To be humble about it, you know, it makes me think of all the years that I've missed, all the just a lot, So I constantly go through all that. And I find myself nowadays very thankful that I have a counselor to where even a couple years ago, I wasn't going to waste my time on it. And I just, you know, there's a lot of people out there that might have the same beliefs that I did about counseling and going to a counselor. But I also think that I got lucky because I clicked with my counselor right off the bat. He's really cool. We clicked. He listens and he's intelligent and he pays attention and he gives me advice that I actually apply in the real world. That's facts. So this is my testament to that. Like, you know, he's not the one just to write me off or write what I have to say off. He listens. And it seems like nowadays, who actually does that? I made that point a little bit ago about myself always being a good listener, but not being good at voicing my opinion or my thoughts. I always just kept it to myself because that's like a street code, whatever. You don't go walking around talking about your problems or anybody else's, especially, being institutionalized. You don't walk around if you're having a bad day bitching about it. Nobody wants to hear that. So many years living like that. Of course, I'm a man. I can handle my own mental health. It's all about dedication and drive and passion. And if you want to change, you can change. If not, you're just talking about it. Yeah, that's true. I stand by that. But, you have to be willing to change in that same sentence. You have to read between the lines there because I thought that I could do it all myself. And I come to realize I'm very thankful and grateful for the help that my counselor provides me. that makes my bad days so much better because I have somebody to be like, dude, check this out. Like, can you believe this happened? Or even, and how do I say this? I don't like saying like reassuring or reinsurance because if I was in the wrong, he's going to check me, you know? So it's also like a trusted editor, you know? Like, I just, this was my response to this situation. I'm not just looking for like approval, I'm looking for reassurance that I reacted right, and that's, I'm pretty much like, am I a normal person now? Like, is this a normal reaction? Because I spent so many years living by that code, I don't know how the normal reaction is supposed to be. And like I was just saying, I'm very blessed and thankful that I'm a part of my son's life, and he's 9 years old. I have a lot of catching up to do. Having counseling has helped a lot, and it's been an amazing journey. So I just want to encourage any of my followers, or if you're watching this, if you truly don't believe in counseling, um, I'm sorry, but maybe you just haven't found the right counselor. There's a lot of programs out there online to where you can get in touch with somebody that is going to be good. And you can always reach out to me. I'm not a counselor, but if you just want to vent, hit me up on the DMs if you're having a bad one, if you're experiencing fatherhood for the first time, like it's a feeling of awe because I've been a father for 9 years, right? But I haven't actually been a dad. I've been screwed off with my life, getting in trouble, in and out of the clink, the same old sob story. But I do pride myself in the fact that I didn't let it stop me. Once I got the opportunity and my son needed me to be a father, I'm here. And that's not for nothing. It's serious. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are going through this exact same feeling. I can't be the only one. So, if you can relate any tips, I'm always looking for tips and advice on things. I got a 9-year-old boy. I'm getting into finding out if he likes sports, what sports he likes, what he's excelling at. There's always learning of strengths and weaknesses. That's crazy interesting to say the least because, for one, I'm blessed. My son's got a great head on his shoulders and he blows my mind constantly. So, I'm very, very intrigued to say happy and blessed. But when I think about it, I'm intrigued on his possibilities and what he's going to decide he wants to do. Because the way I was raised was very old school, and I wasn't forced into doing anything, but there was a lot of family traditions that were passed down. And I always felt like, all right, I have racing as an example. I was a third generation race car driver. So, and yeah, I loved it. And as a kid, it was sweet. You would think, what kid doesn't want to try to be a race car driver? But I didn't necessarily want to do it as fast as I got introduced to it from being a family tradition. Do I regret it? Not at all. It built a lot of character. But now, being a father myself, looking at my son around that age, I'm not about to press put any generational pressure per se on his or influence what he wants to do. So I'm sitting back as a father watching what really piques his interest. When he's talking about something, you can see him light up. And that surprises me because a lot of the stuff it just blows me away. And I know people can relate all around the world to that. And it's an awesome feeling. And then being able to reciprocate it, like a lot of stuff I don't know about because when I was a kid, there was a lot of like cartoons and anime and stuff, but I wasn't into it. I was playing GTA San Andreas. I wasn't watching like Dragon Ball Z really much. If I was at my boy's house, but I didn't pay attention to like any anime or anything like that. So, and my son's big into this stuff. So learning all of it, trying to keep up with him because, of course, I want to have bonding moments. What makes him happy? I see him knowledgeable on something, so I want to be knowledgeable about it also. And it's wonderful. One thing about it, it takes a lot of my mind off of the social media stuff because that can get wicked draining. Always looking at your phone, always checking statistics. Dude, it gets old, believe me. Like, not saying it's not backbreaking work, but it's just mentally draining. And you don't need to be looking at the screen 24/7. And if you are, hopefully you're watching something like this, you know what I mean? The bad apple fact with some good life experience. And this isn't even advice, we're just having a talk. I hope to be able to communicate with people, and you can please leave a comment on any part of this video throughout it that catches your eye or your ear. You know, if you can relate to these experiences of my fatherhood coming from being a troublemaker and going to prison and living by like the street code to switching my mindset, how much counseling has helped me and is still helping me. If you guys can help with your own testimony to that, I'm trying to spread a good word. I'm spending a lot of time just trying to give good energy out. There's so much bad energy that we don't have time for it. Let's be honest. Look around us. It's tough out there. So I cherish the good energy and I cherish the new opportunities to be successful and to be a man my son is proud of. That that is a huge goal. And of course he's 9 years old. He's a busy kid. He's got school. He's got everything. So he doesn't. Uh, I don't think he realizes how special he is. And that's cool too because he's gonna. You guys all know, proud of your children. It's just I'm sharing that experience right now with you guys because it's a wonderful experience. Just watching him thrive at whatever he wants to do and set his mind to, and how I can be a part of it and help and be supportive. And half the time he ends up teaching me, So that's one thing that I'm learning is to just watch and pay attention and help guide, make sure he's safe and healthy on his way. But watching my boy become a man, that's what's up. And I'm very proud. And it's been a long road. Um, None of this was easy. And when you're involved in a situation, I had to get my rights back. My rights were taken from me. So and I earned it because I wasn't there and I was living a shitty life, making shitty life choices. I'm not sitting here saying that they took my kid from me and like, dude, I was making dumb decisions. Like, I know. And when it came to that, I realized what time it is. I have to switch up. So head down, keep grinding every day. Got better, got my mental health better, getting which I said in my last video. As soon as my mental health started getting better, my physical health reflected that. And I know you're looking at me right now like, I don't know, buddy, you're looking a little hefty. Yeah, well, fair enough. But my blood pressure is way down. My cholesterol and shit is good. I'm working on the belly, all right? Give me a break. I'm just an Irishman from New England. I'm allowed to have a belly. I like potatoes. You heard. All right. I digress. I hope you guys can relate to some of the things I said here. Um, it's a beautiful thing. It's a testament to how hard work may be hard, and it may seem like, man, I might not be able to do this. In my situation, the mountain looked like it was Mount Everest. Like, how am I going to dig myself out of this hole? You know what I mean? How am I going to do this and do it fast enough and do it the right way? There's no faking it when it comes to having to get your rights back as a parent. There's no cheap way around it. You have to put the hard work in and prove to them that you deserve it. And that's been a rewarding experience. Um, it's been difficult mentally, though. It's a mental challenge. Always double checking myself. Am I doing the right thing? I don't look for other validation anymore. I need to be able to look myself in the mirror and know I'm doing the right thing. And I do that every morning because I want to make sure what I'm fighting for is correct. I don't want to be that guy that's delusional, and that's not me. So I'm coming out of this as a very real human that's made very real mistakes. That every human makes mistakes. I might make mistakes in the future, but I need to keep my head focused right now and keep pushing and doing what I'm doing. And I know I have a strong support system that I've built through being healthy and being healthy minded. That support system doesn't just come because it's draining to try to support somebody that's mentally unwell. And yes, those people do need help and they need support too. But if you're in that situation, you're like, maybe find yourself saying, I wish I had support and nobody's going to support me. You have to understand there are people that will help you and support you to fall back on if you need to vent and things like that. But you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and recognize if you're creating problems for yourself, there's only so much other people can do for you. You have to try to make good decisions on your own. And even once you start making those good decisions, bad days happen. That's just life. Especially in 2026, the world's crazy. It's easy to be pissed off. It's easy to be triggered. And in those moments is when you need good support to fall back on and just be able to vent. And there are people out there like that. But if you keep having bad days, 7 days a week, 365, it's something you're doing personally. So I highly suggest just take a deep breath and look around. If that's happening, you can change it. And if you don't want help, you don't need help. I get it. But in my situation, when there's children involved in my son, and I get the opportunity to be a great father, there's nothing better in the world. And that's who I choose to surround myself with are men with the same mindset. They strive to be successful. They strive to be a great family man. They strive to be a good father. Everybody wants their child to be proud of them. And it takes work and nothing's easy. This is why I was talking about counseling, because 2 years ago, I would have never thought I had time for a counselor. Now I make time because the fact he has time for me is amazing. When I first started, I told him I was going to invoice him for my time being cocky. And he read the room. He knew me, and that's what he's educated for, you know. When I made a statement like that, he learned that my sense of humor and this is the guy I am, and he's good at communicating. It's not all serious. It's always lighthearted, good energy, with a lot of good advice involved. So this is my testament to how counseling has helped me and how fatherhood has helped me continue my journey on this road to success. And that's gonna be it for today, guys. This is just a little insight on a great feeling and a great video. Beautiful out. Go touch some grass. Bad apple facts. Love you guys. Peace.